You know, I was thinking like, you're going to have to chip away at this for a few years, and maybe in a few years, you'll get to meet one of them, right? So the fact that, you know, you got to meet them, I think is a massive step, bro. Like, I know in your mind because you went through it and you were thinking about it afterwards, but you're going through it through the trauma of what you went through, rather than seeing it from, you know, a bit of a objective perspective, like I'm looking at it, right? And in my mind, I'm looking at the situation, I'm like, what? You already went round there? I'm like, I'm shocked, right? That you went round there, because I was expecting them to be like resistant for a few years. You're gonna try, and then and I'm like, look, the fact that you went round there, like, you made a massive effort. Like, this is something that you didn't need to do, and you did it for the sake of Allah. And like, the benefits of that, you can't see it yet, but I'm telling you, the benefit of that is like insane benefit, right? Apart from what Prophet ﷺ told us in terms of increased provision and extension of life and all of this stuff, just like doing it is massive, right? And the fact that you went there and then you bit the tongue and they're firing rockets and you're quiet, I think is massive, man. It's like really, really amazing stuff that you did. You know, what you feel afterwards and all this kind of stuff, and should I have bit my tongue, you know, like these are all like, you know, just thoughts and doubts and negativity and paradigms and because fundamentally the truth is, bro, if I want to keep good relations with the people that I care about, there's going to be so many times I'm going to have to bite my tongue. Like, biting my tongue is part of relationships. If I don't bite my tongue, I will kill people with my tongue. Like, literally, I could kill people. Like, think about it, bro. I sit here and I talk to you for 4 hours, 5 hours, yeah? Like, what could I do to someone if I really wanted my tongue? I could kill them, right? So, like, you have to bite your tongue. And the truth is that as you're going through these transformations where you're learning about paradigms and you're learning about facts and you're learning about this and that, they're not going through any of that. They're just going through no development, and they're just where they are. So now that Allah's given you this perspective and Allah's developed you in this way, you actually have a responsibility to be that person that can hold their tongue, that can forgive and forget. And this is what I'm saying, that really and truly, like, we need to go to the next level where, look, my sister said something to me that is not nice. You know what? I forgive her. I let it go. Like, I forgive her, and it's done. And that's it. And I'm saying that methodology, although at the start it will feel painful and difficult, if you keep going down that route, that is a path that eventually becomes easy, and it's something that raises your rank so much, right? It raises your rank so much because you become that person that's just like, you know, I forgive it, like, move on. Like, what I care about is the relationship, maintaining the relationship, and that's what I'm gonna kind of focus on. You know, of course, if there's a level of harm that's coming to you and they're causing harm to you and your family, that's quite different, right? But generally, like where you guys are now, you have to realize that you're at the stage where you're kind of rebuilding this, right? So trust is all over the place, and people are going to say things and things are going to happen. This is the nature of when relationships are like this, right? But when relationships become better and stronger, and there's more trust, and there's this and there's that, and that rapport is built, at that time you can even reply to some of the rockets, right? But now is the time for building bridges, coming together, and doing all of this stuff. But like I said, bro, I wouldn't belittle what's happened. And I'm sure everyone listening and everyone that's kind of, you know, been through your story with us, you know, in the last few weeks, you know, I'm sure they're thinking, what I'm thinking is like, how, mashallah, did you manage to like make so much progress in so little time? Because the last time we spoke, you were talking about years of not seeing, years of not doing, and now suddenly you're like, yeah, we went around there, and you know, now we're looking to go around to someone else and this and that. And so it's like really amazing now. And I would have a grateful mindset with this, even though it didn't go exactly as maybe you wanted or whatever. I would still be very grateful for being able to do this, because look, your sister and everyone else, they have their own paradigms, whether they're right or wrong, whatever. They could have just been of the thing of, we're just going to ignore you. Or they could have said to you, you know what, stop sending us messages because we don't want to know you and we don't want anything to do with you. And they could be wrong for it, but they could have chosen that perspective and that position. But they actually welcomed you into their home, and they could have even said, we don't want to meet you. Okay, great. Thanks for the message. Bye. Right? But they opened their home, they welcomed you. So what I'm saying is that I would actually appreciate that. I would be grateful for that, grateful to Allah. I would even be appreciative towards them. And anything they said and all this stuff, I would just kind of put it under the carpet. Like, you know, there's times, you know, like my mom or dad or someone might say something, and I'm like, look, they're my mom and dad. And I know different things will affect us in different ways, and different buttons will kind of push us. But just remember the bigger picture, right? This is what leadership is about, that you actually think of the bigger picture, and you think of what I'm trying to do. Like me personally, bro, like when I think about my family, my mission is for me and my family. And when I say family, I mean my whole khandan. I'm talking like thousands of people. Mission is for us to be a family of Jannatul Firdaus, like us as a family in Jannatul Firdaus together, all of us. right? The people that my family have got beef with, the people that we don't have beef with, the people that passed away, the people that are yet to come, like all of us being an actual family of Jannah, right? And so if I really want that, then I cannot be the guy who is reacting to every comment that someone makes or every slight thing that someone says, even when they're wrong, I'm talking about, yeah? Because my mission is bigger than that. My mission is to take all of us, including that person that's saying ridiculous things about me, to Jannah with us, because they're part of my family. You know, so I'm saying that kind of leadership mentality, if you can kind of grow and develop that, I think it'd be really, really beneficial for you and for your kids and for your akhirah, inshallah. Yeah, I think your children are actually at that level where you can have discussions with them, and the great thing is that you can consult with them, right? And you know, from all my experience of dealing with sexual abuse and all these kind of things, I've always found the people that have been abused to be amazing in their mentality, bro. Like you've seen, obviously, you know what I'm talking about. For other people's benefit, like a lot of the time when I spoke to people who have been abused, like when I asked them, like, do you want the abuser to be punished and go through pain and this and that? Like, they're not malicious. Like you would expect people to be like very malicious and I want them to go through pain and torture. The people that have been abused are never like that. I've never found people to be like that, right?
Yeah.
So people are like very understanding. And so I think like if you were to actually talk to them, and I wouldn't talk to them on a perspective of, look, we're going to invite them round and this and that. I'll be like, look, this is something that, you know, I would come from the paradigm of what I'm trying to do. Like, look, what I want to do is actually maintain ties. What that might mean is reconnecting with old family. How do you guys feel about reconnecting with old family? Like, how would you feel? How would you feel about this? How would you feel about this? Okay, why do you feel like that? Why do you feel like that? Okay. And then let them know the safety that we won't do anything that, you know, will jeopardize things for you, or we wouldn't do anything. And I think that a lot of the time, you know, some of them will obviously have negative feelings, right? And they'll be like, why should we even deal with them? And why should we even do this and that? And then others might be like, look, it's not really that big an issue. And if it's important for you, then it's fine and this and that. So I think as a family, like you guys definitely need to have like very clear discussions about how you feel about all of it and how does everyone kind of think about it all. And then I think there's different ways because you've got to give it time, right? So I would take things very slowly. I wouldn't really force anything down anyone's throat or tell them that, look, they need to do this or they need to do that, but just understand where everyone is. And at the same time, create safety and let them know that, look, you know, we're gonna kind of do the right thing and we're gonna do whatever it takes. And at the same time, you know, with the sister and stuff, because I don't know, like if you said like we'll get to that eventually or whatever, maybe that was something that they were like a bit surprised at because they're like, oh, you came to our house, we'll come to your house. That's very natural as well. But obviously you have to manage your own family and stuff. So I think it's just about taking small steps, but as a family, you can take even smaller steps. And then of course you can always say to them that, look, why don't you come around for a coffee or tell them a place and say, look, we want to take you out for dinner, and like just you and your wife take them out and go to a restaurant and just, you know, do that and kind of build the relationship like that. Because you remember it's very tense for everyone, right? And the truth is, bro, I'm telling you, like, you've done the hardest thing. The hardest thing is going around for the first time and trying to sit with each other when you haven't sat with each other for 10 years. Like that is the really tough thing. Yeah. So now it's just about trying to build upon that momentum, keep things nice, keep them fresh, keep them this and that. And, you know, when those kind of topics come up that might trigger issues and this and that, and be like, look, you know what, ultimately I'm here because you're my brother or you're my sister and I want things to be great between us. We don't need to go into the past. Like, you know, whatever you think is fine, whatever I think is fine, it's not an issue. Like, let's just focus on the future because we don't have long left. I'll be on my grave soon, you be in your grave soon. When we've got, let's make the most of it and just kind of move on from it. One thing I would say to you, Andrew, is that, look, like I'm talking about my family, yeah, fundamentally what it is you're kind of playing the role of a leader now, right? And what happens with the leader, one of the most powerful thing a leader has is actually the vision and the purpose, right?
Yeah.
So the vision is like what we're trying to get to, and the purpose is why we're trying to get to it, right?
Yeah.
And so with your family and with your wife and with the kids and everyone, like you need to be on the journey with them, right? And then at the same time, you need to show them that higher purpose, that higher vision. On one level, like I would say to my kids and this and that is like, to be honest, kids, like I'm really uncomfortable about them coming around as well, and I've got doubts around it, and I'm not sure, and I'm scared like what could happen, and I feel just like you feel, right? But at the same time, what I'm trying to do is be someone that Allah is happy with and do something with my family ties and stuff that will basically keep Allah happy and me doing the right thing. And at the same time, like you two are brother and sister, or you three are kids, right? I would love for you is for you to forever be together and for you to always be there for each other. And of course, you might not treat each other like me and my sister have treated each other, but love for you guys, you know, and these are the kind of things. And then still like make it very safe and easy for them. But what I'm saying fundamentally is that you have to rally everyone around a cause and a purpose and a vision. If you don't do that, then it just seems like it's all pointless. And the truth is, you're doing this for a reason. Because the easier option is that you just leave them and you ignore them and they ignore you, and like everyone's happy in their own house, and that's it. That's the easy option. But the hard option is this. So we need to be reminded constantly, because we're going to follow you. Why are we doing this hard thing, right? And when you remind me, then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I get it. It's worth it. It's hard, but it's worth it. It's the right thing to do. And then if there's ways you can make it easier, like saying, kids, you don't be around, you go out, do whatever you like, no problem. Right? Just kind of keep moving towards that direction. Let them know why they're doing it. And then inshallah, once your wife starts doing it for the reason of pleasing Allah, and she does it for maintaining ties and helping you, the reward for her is next level as well, inshallah, you know? But like I said, take it slow. Take it really slow. Don't rush it, because it's also one of those things where if it breaks again now, like it might be a long-term thing. Yeah. So you just want to take it really, really slowly. Don't talk too much. Like, you're going to go meet the other sister. Don't say anything about the other sister, because that will then transfer to that. And you know how it works in our house. You don't want to kind of do that. Like, already there's probably been 50 million conversations about the fact that you went round, right? Yeah. But it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Why? Because you're not doing it for them. You're not doing it. You're doing it for Allah, and therefore everything else doesn't matter. And this is the basis. Like, I've done so much family mediation, and this is the basis of it all. That, you know, people are forever living in this tit for tat world. And you know, the funny thing is, this is a funny thing when I do family mediation, especially in my own families, right? Like, everything one side says, the other side says exactly the same thing about the other side. Literally everything, right? So they're like, they don't care about us. They said this about my mom. They did this. They did all of that. I go to the other household. They don't care about us. They said this about our mom. They did this, they did this, they did this, right? And they can't see it because I'm in the middle and I'm mediating between them. I can see they're exactly the same thing and they're talking about the same thing, right? And so a lot of this is just about, like, you know, tempering that with empathy and understanding and being like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're saying that, you know, you feel they did this and you feel that and this and this. And then they're like, okay, look, you get it. Like, you know how I feel. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly, I completely get that, right? But I'm like, but what would make Allah happy? What is the right thing? I know we don't feel like doing it, but what should we be doing? What is it? And it's just about, like, discussing that and kind of winning them over. And I see my dad, like, a lot of the mediations I used to go to, me and my dad used to go together. He's got this art for speaking, man. He'll just sit down and he'll speak, and he'll just say words to people, and he'll soften them and get agreement from them, and just, you know, and that's the kind of stuff that we need to kind of do, where we show people the vision, we understand them, we empathize them, so we don't put them to the side. You know, the old Paki school of be quiet, shut up, you're gonna do it. You don't do that. Do the opposite of that, right? But at the same time, we have to show that kind of level of leadership where we're like, look, I get everything you're saying, and you're right. Like, the way you feel is completely correct, and this and that. However, this is this. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And this, it's hard work, bro. It's hard work, but it's rewarding work, and it's work you have to do if you want to maintain these ties. And it will get easier, inshallah, bro. It will get easier, inshallah, as the relationship builds and the trust builds and stuff.